today we got to see all of the PulseCon reveals. So if you go back and watch our predictions, we're going to see if we were right, wrong, what new stuff we got to see. Let's take a look. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm your host Dakota, here with my co-host Jordan, and today we are talking PulseCon, baby. We had, I think, a pretty significant amount of reveals here. Some things that we had seen previously. Obviously, they talked about the HasLab. Obviously, they're trying to push that forward. I think as they were doing the stream, it was right around 50%. I haven't checked back to see. I'll throw up a screenshot of where it's at right now. They did kind of bring out Giant-Man, and we got to see a few. It's not like new tiers or anything. It's just kind of some modifications to the offering. So
right.
The first thing I think that they mentioned was that it's going to come with two different antennas. So you get the white antennas now, which it was only black. Now we've got white. So I personally like that better. That's how the Toy Biz Giant-Man looks, and
I do agree. I think the white ones pop a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. And it goes with the white on the side of his head, so
Yep.
It kind of fits.
I was happy about that. And then the other change was that he now has swappable faceplates and swappable eyeballs.
How many people are going to lose those?
Well, that's what I want. I don't think.
But I don't know, how big are they then? If it's,
I don't think it's going to be eyeball, like single eyeball pull out. I think it's probably going to be like a two eyeballs
like
connected.
They're connected and you just pop them.
Kind of like if you've ever had a Mafex before, and how those hands come kind of like on the two, whatever that thing is.
I've had some Mafexes.
Right. So I think that's more how it's going to be. You're going to pop both eyes in at the same time, pull them out, but you're going to get, what was it? Forward eyes, a side eye, and then looking down eyes.
They were kind of, those eyes were, to me, were kind of like the, ooh, you know.
The looking down ones?
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. There was one that kind of looked like he was like, he just saw something crazy to me.
Okay. Which I remember when they were kind of showing off the faceplates and stuff, they had put in the different eyes, and I was like, wait a minute, did they change that smiling face to side eye? Which I was like, that's terrible, but we've got interchangeable eyes. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, did they not learn anything from looking at Todd McFarlane stuff and seeing how much people hate the side eye? So,
it's dynamic. It makes him look like he's posed.
Oh, yeah. So, kind of a cool touch. They talked about how many different variations of looks you can get. So, I don't know that that's any. I don't think anybody was like, oh, yes, here we go, finally. And then it did not cause a flood of people to back the HasLab. But I think overall it's cool.
I was waiting, dude. As soon as they announced multiple eyeballs,
I wasn't going to buy it because of those black antennas. Now that we've got the classic white, I'm in.
Yeah, it did seem like they were kind of saying what we were saying about like, hey, let's get the momentum going for PulseCon and stuff. So I'll be curious to see maybe over the weekend what it does.
Yeah. And they brought out the photographer that they've been using that shot all of the stuff. Do you remember what his name was?
I don't.
Peter? Dan? I thought it was something simple. Tom? I don't know. Sorry, buddy. We did a whole podcast about you, though. Nice to see your face. Do some great shots. We'll see some of those later today, too. But that was kind of cool to see the whole diorama area they had set up, the behind-the-scenes shots. That was a fun touch.
Yeah, I thought that was cool, the way he just talked about, showing those and just wanting to make a whole. I mean, that was pretty big then. I mean, like to scale as far as all that stuff goes. So
right,
that was cool to see.
Yeah. And then, I mean, they kind of mentioned selfie series, but we don't really care too much about that. And then I think we get into some reveals. So I think I'm going to go MCU first and save the comic for later. We had the No Way Home wave. We've had that leaked from Rectangular all year long. Finally seeing it. Movie came out 10 years ago, however long it was. I thought these were done pretty well, but I mean, I guess we can go through the figures. So first up, they showed off the new MJ. So she's kind of in her sweater. I can't remember even what the box thing.
Yeah, they were kind of joking about, I think Ryan said what it technically was called, and then Dwight was like, I'm never going to remember that. So
yeah, no, I'm not either.
Portal box or something like that. So
Yep. And then I don't remember exactly the order, but I think it was Matt Murdock.
Matt Murdock, wasn't it?
Yep. I thought he looked kind of goofy.
Yeah, it looked kind of weird to me.
I think don't know, like maybe the glasses were too small, like too narrow.
Yeah, it looked like they were like poking out of his head, and then I don't know. I almost feel like the Charlie Cox head they did in the what was that, the Defenders 5-pack? I almost feel like that looked better than this one for somehow.
Yeah, I maybe it was just kind of a weird product sample that they had, and I mean we'll be able to see it because it's all going to be windowed, so you'll be able to look and see like, oh yeah, that's pretty goofed up, but
he comes with a brick.
He comes with a brick, and I thought that was a pretty cool touch. I like the details on that. That was cool.
Well, I feel like that was at least creative to be like, what can we put with Matt Murdock?
True.
So I mean,
he's got his cane.
True.
No alternate hands, so
yeah.
Kind of. I don't think there was alternate hands. Maybe there was. I don't think so though.
I don't think I remember seeing them.
But then I think the next one was Sandman. And I think I told you this during the live stream. I don't think that Sandman looks great. It looks like how it should, but I would not really want my Sandman displayed that way. But I was thinking it would be cool if you could like pop his leg off and put it on your retro Sandman and kind of start combining those parts.
Well, I like the effects with like the hands where you can like elongate them almost and like that.
Right.
That reminds me of that remember that Spider-Man Classics one?
Yeah.
I used to have them. Maybe you had them too. But
you had it.
You
gave it to me, and yeah.
I think the peg broke off or something. But that to me seemed pretty cool. It's just, I mean, and that's the way he appeared in the movie, so I get it. But like you said, I don't think I would. I couldn't. As soon as I saw it, I think I texted you. I'm like, something looks weird about this. I don't know what it was, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Accurate to the movie, but not. And that's the thing. I guess if you're wanting the movie figures, you'd rather have it be accurate than look like a comic Sandman. But definitely not my favorite Sandman. But also, it kind of is what it's supposed to be.
That's the trick.
Then we get to see the 3 Spider-Men. They brought out Tobey Maguire first, then Andrew Garfield, and then Tom Holland. And Tom Holland is actually in the final scene suit, like the red and blue, kind of shinier looking. And they all get their unmasked head sculpts that everybody was upset that didn't come in the 3-pack. And I think that is kind of where our issue lies with this is what was even the point of that 3-pack? I mean, I guess it got out earlier, but...
Well, I think the point was even when he said, well, we didn't have like the likeness things... But to me, I don't know that again. I think it was a good stream. I think good reveals. I think that's kind of a crappy thing to be like announce it last year, make people wait a year. People spent $90 on it, probably more than that with shipping.
Yep.
And then like clearly they knew, and I know there was the leak. Like this is probably what's going to happen, but even so, it's just. It seems like, okay, we know we're going to put these out with the head sculpts, with the likenesses everybody wants, but in the meantime, we're going to try to make a quick buck and put out a 3-pack so that you'll buy it, and then you'll either have to rebuy it or because, like, I don't know, if I'm not, like, super mad just because, I know we've talked about this before, we don't usually display our Spider-Man unmasked normally, so it doesn't really bother me a ton, but still...
I mean, did these come with less accessories than the others? I think.
Yeah, I know the Toby one didn't have as many hands.
Yeah, I don't think that. Oh no, I think the Andrew one has extras also. So. Yeah. And I guess Tom is in a different suit here, but.
Yeah, that one I give him credit for at least doing that new suit.
Yeah, true.
True. But I think I don't know, man. Like. I think that's kind of crappy to like have your customers spend $90 probably thinking, because if you're not like in the know or not reading the leaks, you were probably like, oh, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And then you get that. And then it's like, oh, I feel like I kind of got, I don't know, it kind of cheated out of like my $90.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of stuck with these figures that I can't really probably resell for much. And then I want the new ones. So I don't know. I mean, I really was hoping that they were going to do the civilian suits, which I think would have made a lot more sense, because even from a like standpoint of, who's going to buy the 3-pack now? Isn't it still on? Because like they might as well take that down, I feel, because if you had the civilian bodies with the heads, people would want to buy that, or now they would say, oh, I want to buy that and I want to go back and get the 3-pack. So even to me, that seems kind of like a strange.
But I think they spent so much money on the tooling and sculpting of those 3-pack Spider-Man with the raised and sculpted lines, and then painted on those sculpted lines. So I kind of figured they were going to be reusing this stuff.
Oh yeah,
but I think this is going to be up at 5 p.m. Eastern today, which we'll probably be done recording this by then. But I'll have this up shortly after that. So we don't know the price point yet. I'm going to be upset if it's $25, because this is on like a retro card. It's not a Build-A-Figure wave. We were all speculating on what the Build-A-Figure was going to be. No Build-A-Figure, so you're getting less plastic in it. But is it going to be $25, or are we going to be like, oh no, this is retro card, it's a little bit more expensive now?
I'd say at least 30 is my guess.
You think 30 per figure?
I doubt they go 25, but
and that's what I was going to say, is if these are $25 per figure, how like even more crappy is that you bought the 3-pack for $30 per figure? Like, sure, I think you're getting maybe one less pair of hands with these single carded figures, and then you're swapping the web lines, which are trash, for unmasked head sculpts. That doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, and I mean, I think as you and I talked, we figured, like, they'll reuse these Spider-Man bodies. To me, it's just kind of weird to release them so close to, like, within the same calendar year as when the 3-pack shipped.
Right.
Like, that to me
didn't you just get that recently? Well, I guess that was a little while ago.
Summer.
Had it. Yeah. I just got it this weekend, but yeah.
I mean, it was, well, because I had yours. So,
right.
I mean, but still, like, 3 months ago, I mean, I don't know. And I get everyone's like, oh, I told you so, I told you to wait. But it's like, I don't think that's right, personally.
Well, because, I mean, then that's kind of the gamble of, like, if you had waited and they put out the civilian bodies, and then if the 3-pack was sold out, it probably would have skyrocketed. You're going to be paying, Daredevil 3-pack type prices for it. So I don't know. I mean, I'm happy enough with my 3-pack. Like I said, I don't really want unmasked head sculpts. I just think it's such a cheap reuse so quickly after they put out that 3-pack. That's more my issue. But
that I guess, and that's my thing too.
Continuing on, like, outside of the wave, but still within the same movie. They also showed the Green Goblin. We kind of talked about that on the last episode, but I think it looks pretty good. It seems like he holds his pumpkin bomb pretty well. I don't know, not a ton to say about that, because I think they also knew that this was already leaked, so kind of everybody knew about it.
They made a joke about it too, didn't they?
Right.
Like, for the first time ever.
So, but then for the actual first time, we got to see Doc Ock, and I think that was pretty cool, Doc Ock. Like, that's way better than I was expecting, because he comes with interchangeable tentacle pinchers.
I thought that was really smart, rather than, like, I remember the old school one, they were just articulated, but it makes way more sense to port them off, because I remember even when I had that as a kid, like, those would get all janky and break apart. So I think it's smart.
It's going to hold your Spider-Man much easier.
Right. And then, well, even the feature of, like, the planted ones where allegedly it looks like he can stand. They didn't show him standing that way. I mean, they had promo shots,
picture,
right? But, so I'm curious to see, because, I mean, we have similar feelings on Bendy Wire, but I'm curious how that turns out for that one. But
I mean, that one, and that one was kind of weird too, because that was Doc Ock, which he was in No Way Home, but it's not Doc Ock from No Way Home. It's Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I think that's, so it's that one and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man both had the branding. So the Andrew Garfield one said Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Doc Ock said Spider-Man 2. So my thought is that, are they using that to, like, segue into later maybe being able to do other figures from, like, non-MCU movies? Because I even know people for a long time have been asking for, like, different Fox X-Men figures.
I mean, I think you're totally right on that, because if they weren't going to do that, everything would have been in the same pack. Why would they make separate packaging with different movie titles?
And you could get, if they want, like, the Green Goblin from Spider-Man, the first one.
You're going to get your beat-up Tobey Maguire.
Oh, hey.
It's a lot of
I still have
sculpting.
that one. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then, I mean, maybe they redo
just,
Electro. They give you another Lizard and a deluxe. Maybe you're going to get a Venom again. There's a lot of, I mean, you could redo so many figures from that and figures that we've never had before. So I think I think that's exactly right. That's why they did that, is we're going to be getting more Spider-Man movie figures from across the Spider-Verse. So
nice tie-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I mean, I'm curious how much the deluxes will cost. Do you think those ones will be the same? Doc Ock and Goblin, or
I would assume that Green Goblin is going to cost $50. Doc Ock,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like he should cost less, because if we're thinking like Hawkeye and Sky Cycle cost $50, that's why I think that Green Goblin comes with a glider.
The deluxe element is just his tentacles, which if you can pack in the size of those with like what the Doc Ock Ant-Man, I guess the Aunt May was tiny, but still wasn't that $52.99? So
yeah,
if you get him with a figure, theoretically this Doc Ock should be like $40. But
yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I would expect 50 and then be happily surprised that it's 30, because
they said those are going up later, right? Those will be, they didn't announce when, just at some point.
Yeah, the rest of the movie wave is today, and then the deluxes are in the future sometime. Now, comic book figures. Some of these we had seen before. They brought those out first. So, kind of like we had mentioned on the Predictions podcast, we get to see Power Princess, Justice, Vision, and Chris Starr. Which I thought that they had announced that Chris Starr was going to be in like a special packaging, but apparently not. Maybe that was just they were showing off kind of the comic he comes from. But then they said this is a part of a Build-A-Figure wave, and kind of revealed the rest of the figures and then the Build-A-Figure. So the next figure that they revealed was a Savage Namor, which, I forgot I was going to bring out I have a comic of Savage Namor that just looks so ridiculous.
I think I remember that comic. It's like peak like 90s art.
Oh yeah, for sure. Very 90s.
It's like really stretched face and like tight skin. It's like almost uncomfortable.
So I thought that was a cool touch, and not something I need, but
yeah,
I thought he looked cool. I liked the head sculpt. It's got the longer hair. He comes with the same trident that I think the other Namors have come with. And then he's got 3 sets of hands. So he's got gripping hands, fisted hands, and swimming hands. So quite a bit packed into that box. I think he's not really even the most full box either. Like, that's kind of a normal looking box in this wave. To go along with him, though, then we got Namorita, which I know a lot of people were wanting her. I don't think they were wanting her necessarily in this costume.
Yeah.
But I thought this...
For the New Warriors?
Right. So... I thought that this costume looked actually pretty cool. I don't really know the character super well, so I probably won't be getting her. But she's one of the lighter packed in ones. She's only got an extra set of hands, so she's got fists and kind of open swimming hands. Then, if we go, I don't even know how far back we'd have to go to Dakota's wish list of Marvel Legends he wants updated from Toy Biz. We finally get a Black Panther with the gold accents, gold on the cape, gold on the claws.
Gold belt.
This one is the one that doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure. So he's actually the lightest packed figure. He's only got the claw hands and fisted hands. And honestly, I think Toy Biz did this one better. I'll have to reserve final judgments for in hand. I'm sure he's going to be better articulated. It's going to pose better. But the sculpting, the gold, all that stuff, I think was better on the Toy Biz one.
Well, so, I thought even the tint of it in the Toy Biz is more gold. This looked a little more yellowish to me, but
yeah. So
maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe that's too specific of a complaint.
Yeah, I'll reserve final judgment until I have it in hand, because I'm going to keep my Toy Biz one. So I'll see. I think I am happy to see it though, because it's one that I've been asking for a little while. So pretty cool. And then just to get back to the other ones on what they came with, you're going to have Vision. He's also pretty lightly packed. He's got a set of extra hands, but he comes with a Build-A-Figure part, so it's more than Black Panther. And he looks really good. I don't know. We saw in person, he was on the display case at San Diego. But seeing the promo shots for this one, super excited for Vision. And you're going to be getting him, right?
I'll get him. I'm going to complain a little bit, nitpick, and say I think his cape's a little biggish, but
I love it. I love the big cape. Justice also comes with only an extra set of hands. So he's got, fists and kind of not gripping hands, but not kind of like human claw hands, but not claw hands. I don't know. Just an extra set of hands. Power Princess, she's going to have an extra set of hands. So she's got gripping hands because she's also got a sword and a shield. And then I think she's got fists. Guarantee you, week 1, she comes out. You're going to see a Wonder Woman custom on that. I saw some people joking that leave it to Marvel Legends to make a better Wonder Woman before Todd does. That's funny. Which is 100% accurate because this looks like a perfect Wonder Woman base. So I'm excited to see those. And then Chris Starr is going to be coming with, it might be a tie for him and Namor, but Chris Starr is going to have an extra set of hands. He's going to have a helmet that I think is removable. And then a sword, and is that it? I can't tell what this other thing is. Oh, a shield.
Does he have a shield?
He's got a shield too. It's just clear, so I couldn't see it in the box very well. Now, Jordan. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, let's go Build-A-Figure first. The Build-A-Figure is the Void, which I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is probably top 5 all-time best Build-A-Figures. That
wow.
Do we lump Hasbro? If it's Hasbro, for sure, top 5. If you're going to include Toy Biz, might be a harder argument, but I still think there's an argument for it. They
definitely does not look like they skimped out on the detail. Well, I remember I texted you. I'm like, what the heck is this? Is a wave? Like, what's a build? They said comic Build-A-Figure. I'm like, what could it be? And then that was cool. I mean, I think it'll definitely go well with the Sentry they just put out. I think
even outside of Marvel Legend collectors, I think just the general monster collector or fantasy collectors, I could see him fitting in with your Legions pretty well. He could be fighting your Atticus Doom, stuff like that. This Void seems pretty versatile, and he's just like a ginormous monster. He comes, so it's pretty much a big dude, but then he's got 6 scorpion tails coming out of his back. 8. He's got he's got 8. And then he's got I don't know if it's supposed to be they look like scorpion tails. Kind of looks like it's supposed to be kind of spider legs,
claw spider.
And then even his head's kind of got some spider leg type things coming out. It looks, his stomach's got there's got to be 50 spider legs coming off of this guy. But it looks like they're using the base of the movie Venom, probably. At least the legs for sure. But then I don't know how all this stuff attaches to him, but it looks awesome. And with the amount of spider legs coming off of him, it's making me hopeful that they're practicing for maybe a man spider down the road.
Ooh, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like he's kind of also got that translucent effect a little bit,
he does,
right? Didn't he say so? Because Dwight was saying something about, in the comics, he always has a emanating light, so you could try to. I'm sure there's some cool stuff you could do with lighting and pictures for him.
Yeah. So I'm very happy with that. I was blown away. I was like, because we've been thinking, Hasbro, whatever, they're going to cheap out on, and it seemed like they cheaped out on the MCU stuff, and they put it all into the comic stuff, because this is very similar to the Marvel Knights wave, where everybody's coming with stuff. The Build-A-Figure is pretty substantial. I think this one's way better Build-A-Figure, but your boxes are not coming lightly packed. And then they kind of did a fan poll during the YouTube stream of what you wanted to be revealed. So there was 3 different options. There was a brand new Marvel Legends figure never made before. There was a new figure that's only ever been a head sculpt, and a figure that was previously a convention exclusive. I think it was 90% of the votes were for the brand new figure, and that was the Red Widow. So kind of I think they were saying it's supposed to go with kind of your
the Red
Guardian and Ursa Major, Crimson Dynamo kind of team.
She's a relatively new character.
Is it? Okay.
I saw. I think she was created in like 2018. So.
Oh, okay.
Only like 5 years old.
Yeah.
More or less, but I don't know. Looks kind of cool. I'm curious.
Yeah. I'll be interested to know how the cloak kind of works. Like, is that keyed in, or is it just like over the top of her? You still move her arms. I mean, it looks like one arm is kind of free to go forward, but going up on either arm is going to be not going to get much motion out to the side. Kind of cool though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was reading. She's like the last in the continuity, like the last of the Black Widows produced by the Red Room. So she's also like part cyborg or something. Oh,
so interesting. All right.
So,
maybe we'll
again. I think it's cool though that they do these figures that like aren't necessarily, ones that you would think of course. Yeah. Maybe there's someone who was asking for that one. I wasn't really aware of that character, but it's cool to see.
Right. I mean, even in that last comic with the Void Wave, like that's not really a ton of well-known characters. Like Vision and Black Panther, sure. But like that version of Namor, probably not a ton of people asking for that. Namorita, yeah, some nerds are wanting her, but like the general kid walking down the aisle is not going to know her. Justice, no one's really going to know at the toy aisle. Power Princess and Crystar, like, and the Void even itself, like those are all very kind of out there characters for them to do. So that's pretty fun, I think.
Yeah.
So that was, well, I guess kind of along with that, we can do a little bit of speculating. I think it was pretty, well, actually not obvious. I think there's two obvious choices that because all the figures that they had in the vote are figures they had made. It was just, which one do you want us to show today? The previously only an alternate head option, Dwight was pretty heavily hinting about being an X-related character. Right off the bat, I'm like, that's got to be Wolfsbane, which I think people would go nuts about. But it could also be Lilandra, who was also previously just a head. So those are two figures that I think are probably the most likely. And there's other options I can't remember from the that same Wolfsbane came with someone else. I can't remember who the chick is with the pink eyes. I don't remember. And I think that would be the only option, unless it's kind of, if they're going off the Reavers still. I thought there was somebody from the Reavers that was only an alternate head to go on to, maybe not Scourge, but somebody else. So I really think it's either going to be Wolfsbane, which I think is the most likely because they know the nerds want it, or it's going to be Lilandra, which I think still people would be decently happy about. I
think people would want that.
Not as hyped as they would be for Wolfsbane, but still they would probably want it. Yeah. And then previously only a convention exclusive, Jordan. What do you expect that to be?
I don't know.
That one's a little bit harder. Oh,
yeah.
Boom. Here comes my Dread Knight. Oh. Wasn't that an SDCC, the raft?
I think he was.
Here we go. I mean, there was another...
Dakota's just getting all his wishes.
There was another Thor SDCC, kind of, because I think that's what the Lady Loki was from. Or no, that was from the A-Force.
Mm-hmm.
They probably wouldn't count She-Hulk as that, because she's been out in like other forms. But if it's like, this is the same costume as a... No, I wouldn't think so either. Elsa Bloodstone.
I was about to say my Elsa Bloodstone, and then I'm getting all my monsters.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. So there is a few options there.
Could be something we speculate more on.
There was a Purple Man, wasn't there? Wasn't he? Set? Was he in the raft set also? Maybe. Yeah. I doubt it would be him. That would be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do him again, but I just don't think they would be trying to hype that up. I think.
Yeah.
It would more likely be one of those other more surprising characters. Probably not Singularity from the A-Force. There was... I can't remember any of the Thor characters, but I think a lot of those haven't well, I guess they made Ulick, and maybe he was the only one they made from that, but I don't know. Give me my Dread Knight. That's what I say. Was Sif? Oh, yeah, Sif. She was in that one. True. And
possibilities.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments. What do you think the only released as a convention exclusive one is going to be? Because I don't think they hinted at that one nearly as heavily as they did with the alternate head one. Yeah. Because if they weren't doing like a big, like, this is going to be an X character, then I would also maybe throw in Chameleon, because I think a lot of people are expecting an animated version of that. But, and that was only an alternate
because,
head, wasn't it? Or was he? No, that was
well,
his
technically
figure.
That was Chameleon.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah. Wouldn't be him then. All right, so that's all the reveals, Jordan. What are you planning on picking up? So maybe like picking up full price, picking up maybe if it goes on clearance. Where are you at?
I mean, after I've seen all the Earth's Mightiest stuff go 50% at Target, I'm a little
right.
That kind of throws a monkey wrench in my whole what to get. I guess my most desired, I definitely want to get that Vision. I think he looks really good. I still think I'd like to get Crystar. When I told you I didn't want him earlier, I think I was
so betrayed, Jordan.
I was a little salty about that whole. I don't know. Even from the MCU wave, the only one I'd think about, well, I mean, from like the wave itself, I would think about the final suit Spidey, maybe, but that's the only one I think I'm gonna think about getting. And part of me will have to see on the price point on the Green Goblin and Doc Ock, but I do think those would be cool.
I mean, if Doc Ock is 40, what do you think about him?
I almost might want to see what he looks like when people get him.
Okay.
Bendy wire tech, because I'm just so hesitant with the bendy wire, man.
Okay. See, I'm surprised by that
because technology's there.
I thought you would have been losing your mind over that Doc Ock, because I thought that was like your favorite Spider-Man villain from the movies, and
I know, dude, but
all those options for the pinchers. That seems like it's up your alley, but I don't know. I'm happy to hear you're going for Crystar though.
They're gonna have to get my good graces back after that 3-pack move.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And what about, were you wanting the Void too, right? You're going to try to collect the pieces?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I guess I'm not going to get that whole wave.
Right.
Getting the pieces might be, I don't know.
I think the pieces for him might actually be kind of challenging.
Another great Build-A-Figure hunt. Haven't gone on one in a while, but
yeah.
I'll have to see. Again.
I just think that like people are going to want that figure, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think people are going to want that figure so that I could see the figures, you find them looser in the groups, and it's going to be, I mean, like I think Justice and Namorita, Namor, those are going to be cheap figures, but I think their parts are going to be the more challenging thing to track down.
Especially since there's so many of those like tentacle things and all that.
So I think for me,
Toy Biz Giant-Man flashbacks.
Yeah. I'm going full price. I'll pre-order right away. Crystar and Vision, I think. I'll probably hold off on Black Panther, although I do want him. Yeah, I'm going to hold off on him because he's Black Panther. There's other people have the versions maybe they want better. So I'll get him eventually, and I'm going to need Wait, he doesn't even come with a Build-A-Figure part, does he? Yeah, I'm waiting for clearance for him. If he came with a part, I would lean maybe towards paying. But yeah, I'm waiting for a deal. At that point,
if you got 3 of them, you might as well. But yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even like. It doesn't necessarily even have to be a 50% off clearance. If there's like a 25% off deal at Target, I'll take it. Definitely want to make the Void. Like I think that's a for sure must-have Build-A-Figure for me. Definitely not interested in any of the MCU figures. I'm happy with my 3-pack. I don't need the final suit. I don't really love any of the head sculpts anyway, and like we said, I'm never going to display it that way. Green Goblin, no. Don't like the hobo look so much. I think maybe if they put out a Green Goblin from the first movie, kind of like we're saying, if they put out other movie figures, I would take a movie, like first movie Green Goblin. Not interested in Doc Ock. I didn't ever love him as much as you did. And then Red Widow, not so much for me, but yeah. I mean, I think that comic wave is awesome. I would, if somebody handed me all those figures, I'd love to have them. Like Power Princess looked cool. I just don't know the other ones as much.
I think it was a good presentation they had for sure. It's just, I mean, I feel like that was a good amount of comic and MCU offerings because I knew people are dying for those No Way Home figures, and but then also having some kind of surprises within the comic stuff.
Oh, and Detroit Steel. They showed Detroit Steel again too.
Yeah, we forgot about him.
So
I just love that picture of him. He's like this 9-inch figure, and then he's got these itty bitty like pew pew, these little tiny effects. Made me laugh. But
I think them putting him next to, or like putting Iron Man in front of him, I think was super smart because it's like that's a substantial figure. That one's another one that I'm putting on the list of strong possibility of paying full price for, because I think they said that was going to be like buy now and it's in stock ready to go, I think. And if it's like I buy it now, have it in hand next week, I'll take full price. But if it's pre-order, get it next year, I'm like, I'll wait for it to go on clearance, because I do think that's probably one that's going to go on clearance unless they had like had the forethought of this figure's not going to sell, let's not make that much quantity for it, versus I think they probably made quite a bit of the Spider-Man figures because Spider-Man always sells. But I could also see those going on clearance. But anyway, we're going to be spending a little bit of money. Not breaking the banks, I don't think. But then we also have to pay for Giant-Man coming up pretty soon, which I think we're going to do. So our wallets are hurting a little bit, but not as bad as they could be. I enjoy these live streams. I thought this was a good one. Makes me excited for the next. I just want to see some more figures. But space it out.
But now that we're getting to the end of that rectangular, unless he comes out with another leak for next year soon. But
now we're on to
we've kind of been spoiled this whole year, basically knowing everything that's coming.
Yeah.
So it'll
now
be
the only
interesting.
things left is the displaying model behavior leaks. So still waiting for my Sabretooth.
That's right.
Scarlet Spider. We'll see. All right. Leave us a comment. I want to know what you guys think the only released as a con exclusive figure. What do you think that one is? Because that's the one I could use some help with. What are you going to be getting out of the wave? What did you think of it overall?
I want to know if anyone else is as salty about this 3-pack versus single patch shenanigans as I am, because I ain't happy. About that.
It's a fair question too. All right, what is that? Like a five bullet point list for you to comment for us? I mean, you can leave them in separate comments.
5 options.
Really boost the. I'm sure the algorithm would love that. So, leave us a comment, like the video, share the video, and until next time, stay strong. I'm going all in on Chris Starr, baby.
What do you mean?
I've got all the comics coming. I'm only missing 2.
Since when did you do that?
On Wednesday.
Is that just after we recorded and you had an old Chris Starr?
I had the other Chris Starr. I was like, you know what? I like this. I'm buying them. I'm going to read all this because there's only 11 books. So
were they hard to find or not really?
No, I was able to get a lot of. I think it was missing 3 or 4 on eBay. So then I got another one on eBay, and then my comic store actually had they had 4 of them, but some of them were in that lot. So I was able to pick up one, and then he's going to look for the other 2 that I need. So, and then I saw another YouTube video of a guy talking about all the Chris Starr figures, and it was just kind of like, they're like, oh, He-Man did well, and we need to make up this random toy and then make it a comic book and sell it. So, going all in on Chris Starr, baby.
Interesting.
Maybe.
Did not expect that.
I like small, simple collections that I can complete. So it's like I don't have to go outside. I don't have to get 1,000 books to complete my Batman comic collection. I can get 11 books, and it's over. Done.
You're good.
And then if Marvel Legends makes some more Chris Starr figures, I just get them. They're not going to make.
I was kind of surprised at the people commenting. There were quite a few people with Chris Starr knowledge on those comments, or maybe it was just one guy commenting multiple.
There was like 3 or 4,